EA Sports. It's in the game.
Hey Madden fans, Mark Schlereth back in the EA Sports Studios in Orlando, Florida. Today we're going to talk to developers about the second playbook in the Madden NFL Playbook series, Gameplay Part 1. I'm here with gameplay designer Larry Rehart. Larry, there's so much to talk about here. And the NFL has become a passing league. I mean, it's all about throwing the ball. One of the big differences I've noticed, the trajectory of the ball. Tell me about how you've designed that.
Well, you know, just like real life, you played with one of the all-time greats in John Elway. The thing that
carried him, by the way. How many Super Bowls did he win before I got to Denver? 0.
But, you know, the thing that kind of differentiates guys like him and the Breezes, the Bradys, the Manning brothers, is their ability to throw the pass with different type of trajectories. You know, every quarterback in the NFL has a rocket arm. They can throw it 1,000,000 miles per hour. But really, the difference is the guys that can throw the ball, different type of touch, you know, to drop that ball in over linebackers, in between safeties. And we really, you know, made a concerted effort on focusing on changing the trajectories in Madden NFL 13.
You know, you speak of the quarterbacks, and John Elway, one of the greatest that's ever played. And of course, I'm kidding. He carried me. But the biggest thing was, for me, is watching quarterbacks and the different release angles. You know, you watch a quarterback go through, focus through his reads, and all of a sudden, boom, he'll hit a back, running a little drag across there. Tell me about some of the quarterback options you put in.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like, that's a perfect example of what we changed in this year's game is throwing a swing pass. Last year, you would just tap it, throw a loud pass, and it would go way up in the air and be what our users call a moon ball. And essentially, I would get the running back catching it near the sideline, and he wouldn't have time to turn it upfield. So this year, you just tap it and lob it to him, and he'll catch it in stride and have plenty of time to get upfield and make a play for you.
Everybody knows, and when you play offensive line especially, you got to protect the quarterback. And one of the ways you protect the quarterback in the NFL is the play action. Of course, quarterback dropbacks, he flags that ball out there, right? That slows everybody down, that freezes those linebackers. Then all of a sudden, he drops back and he lets loose. Tell me about how you guys have incorporated play action.
Yeah, play action is a huge part of, like you're talking about, in the real NFL. And it's been a problem area in our game. It's been tough to call. It oftentimes led to sacks and user frustration. So we kind of tuned play action in a variety of ways. The first thing is we've kind of sped up the quarterback animations, the quarterback handoff animations. So if you let the play action develop, you know, the quarterback will get away from the center a little quicker. He'll get in and out of his fake a little bit faster so you can pass quicker. Another change is just the plays themselves. We had Brad Childress in a few months ago, and he kind of explained to us that, you know, most play action plays, you don't have all 5 receivers going out. So we kind of changed the routes to have more block and release routes. So the running back, after his fake, he'll check and make sure there's nobody coming before he releases. Same thing, a lot of tight ends will stay in longer before they go out. And then finally, we've added a new play action abort mechanic. So what this allows you to do is, you know, if you're in the middle of your fake and you see like a free rusher coming, you can just hit right trigger and immediately break out of the fake, and your quarterback will set up and your running back will go immediately in the block.
Oh, wow, that's a nice feature. Now, when you talk to Madden gamers, one of the big issues they had, wide receiver control buttons. Sometimes a little bit difficult for the average user.
Absolutely. That's what really separates the men from the boys in the Madden world. The Madden Challenge guys, they can do that all day long, where your regular guys like myself, it's more of a struggle. So what we've done this year in Madden NFL 13 is slow down the movement and kind of help keep the user on path to where the ball is going to end up. Obviously, if you click on, your intent is to catch the ball. So we want to kind of help the user and guide them into that direction.
Okay, we all know the game is all about offense, but let's talk about the dumb guys who play on the other side, the defensive players. How have you made that better this year?
Certainly, we haven't forgot about that side of the ball. Obviously, there's 2 sides of the ball. We can't just focus all on offense. And we've added a new read and react defensive AI system. And what that means is it basically eliminates the psychic DB. You know, the situations where your defensive player would magically spin around without seeing the ball thrown and make an interception or a swat, or he cuts with the receiver even though he doesn't see him cut. So just like real life, Champ Bailey can't make a play on the ball unless he actually sees it happen. So in Madden NFL 13, that won't happen until they see the ball thrown. One of the big changes this year is the ability to disguise your coverage. Last year's game, it was real easy to tell if it was man or zone. You could simply motion a receiver, and if a defender chased him across the field, you knew it was man coverage right away. This year, we've added new zone swapping logic, so defenders will chase across the formation as the receiver goes in motion, but it could still be in zone coverage. So you won't know until you snap the ball, and then you still have to make a read at that point.
Now tell me about this right here, the alignment.
Right, that's another big change. In last year's game, say this is Greg Jennings in the slot, we would oftentimes in man coverage, this would be a linebacker covering him, and you know, that was an immediate advantage for the offense, and we wanted to make sure we use best on best principles. So we're going to have corners on receivers. You know, if it happens to motion out a fullback out here, you're not going to get Darrelle Revis covering him. You're going to get the linebacker to follow him out there. So just different, you know, realistic ways that the NFL defenses cover guys is the same that we have in Madden NFL 13.
Speaking of best on best, I want to look at your drawing and then look at my drawing.
Yeah.
Mine just the interior too, by the way. You notice I don't put corners, I don't use safeties and wide receivers. Little secret here. The further you get away from the football, the less you actually know about the game. Those wide receivers and those guys, they play out in the water. I like the concrete. That's just some of what gameplay has to offer. Check out the website for more. Now, the third video in the Madden NFL Playbook series, audio, comes out May 14th, so make sure you stay tuned.